But there's been a lot of people on social media and stuff asking me to do a makeup tutorial. If you don't follow me on like Facebook, you wouldn't probably know that I do a lot of makeup art, and I get a lot of inspiration from a combination of both Gothic and Visual Kei, and just kind of a plethora of styles and stuff that I use. If you see me looking off to the side, because I'm looking at my computer to make sure this records properly. Um, so this is like with nothing. Got my little wig cap on because I do a lot of photos and I do like hairs and junk like that. But that's for a little bit later when we get further into this. This is my first time making a makeup tutorial that's actually going to come out halfway decent. As you can see, this is not my regular setup situation. I am in my bedroom because this has the best lighting, especially at night. Well, not really night, but it is like 6 o'clock and I live in Maine and that's nighttime here. So onwards we go. Now, the first thing I always tell people when doing any kind of makeup is to shave your face. I don't care if you're male or if you're female, shave your face. It is very much a false idea that if women shave their face, they're going to develop facial hair and stuff like that. Bullshit. That's genes being turned on that will start the facial hair growing and stuff. Shaving your face is not going to do that, but it will smooth your skin totally down, so that when you put on your foundations and your powders and stuff, it gives you a very smooth, velvety finish that you're not going to achieve if you have like the little soft facial hairs on your face. And it's really good for when you're doing like photography, very up close photos and stuff like that of your face, of makeup or whatever. So shave your face. And as you can see, all shaved. And I shaved, I exfoliated, I moisturized, I let the moisturizing stuff set for like 15 minutes. I use the Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion for my skin when I'm going to do makeup. Most of the time I use, Cetaphil for extra dry, sensitive skin, because my skin is very, very sensitive to alcohols and dyes and stuff like that. Really, it does not do good things to my skin. My skin looks like absolute chaos. So I use the Jergens and I use the Cetaphil, but when I do makeup, I just use the Jergens. And the very first thing I like to tell people if they're going to be doing makeup, especially if you're going to be doing elaborate eye makeup, like a lot of my photos and stuff have, is to get yourself a really, really good eye primer. Now, what I use, I don't even know if the company is still there, or I think they merged with B&H Cosmetics, and I'll get to B&H in a little while, but I got from Aesthetics Cosmetics. I think the lighting is still not all super great, but it's Aesthetics Cosmetics, and it's just primer, lid primer. Now I prefer to use this particular one versus some of the cream primers and stuff from like Sephora. My very good friend Eve, she sent me some of the small tubes from Sephora of their eye primers, and I used it, and I had a big problem with something in it was causing like a tingling, slight burning sensation around my eyes. Like I said, I do have very sensitive skin, so it might have been just a chemical in it that was doing that. This stuff does not do that. It is very, very pale. And while it does not look like I have used much, there is quite a dent. There's a little bit of a dent in there, but this stuff is so intense that you do not need a whole lot of this in order to go everywhere. So you know, very little spreads very, very far. The company name was Aesthetic Cosmetics, or Aesthetics Cosmetics. I'll have a link in the description of this video. So this is my eye primer. And there will be a lot of editing and stuff in this video because I don't want y'all to have to deal with watching all of this crap. So here we go. I will leave this little section in though so you can see This, I don't know if you can really tell with the lighting, because for whatever reason, even though I have my lights on very, very low, it still kind of washes out the face. But another reason I really like this particular pot eye primer from Aesthetics is it has a very lightening effect. So if you're using pigmented, very strong pigments or anything like that, it really, really shows. Even if you're using lighter pigments, pigmented eyeshadows or whatnot, it shows very, very strongly. And this stuff will make your your eyeshadows and your liners and stuff just stay all day. This stuff is like incredible. I love it, and I will be so sad when this little pot is gone and I can't find no more, because this stuff has been like my little miracle stuff. Also, because it is so light, it does, as you can see, I got bags under my eyes. I am 35 years old. I'm allowed to have a couple little bags. But it lightens up some of the dark circles and stuff, so you can use it almost as a concealer as well. And I have used it as such. But eyes primed. And I'm looking over here because I got my makeup and stuff situated over here in this little section. I am one of these people that I started off with initially using the good old stick eyeliner. Now, most girls, and I know the guys who do, who occasionally wear makeup, will just use this regular old stick eyeliner. This is okay for like water lines or tight lining or something like that, but it is not the best thing to use when you're trying to do very elaborate makeup styles, because it skips, it doesn't have a clean, smooth line. Instead, what I have come to love is the e.l.f. Let me see if I can get that in shot well. The e.l.f. cream liner. Now, a lot of people like gel liners, and I do use some gel liners. I have like a really beautiful red gel liner that I recently got from Inglots, but the e.l.f. cream liner in black is amazing stuff. As you can see, I have used the crap out of this, and another one of these products that a little bit goes a very, very long way. This is my all-time favorite eyeliner, and one second, I'm actually today going to be combining a couple of styles that I've seen before. I'm enjoy trying new products and new styles and stuff like that. So I'll go digging around on the internet. I'll find some eye makeup style that I really, really think is beautiful, but it's missing a little something. So then I'll just go dig around until I find whatever it was it's missing. So occasionally I'll look over and look at my reference pictures. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not ignoring you guys. But, okay, here we go. Now this is the little brush that I use for my black liner. This is not a normal little black eyeliner brush. I think, actually this one, yes, this is a little brush that came free with this, which is a eyeshadow, kind of a silver. It's supposed to be like a silvery white, but it's more like a whitish glitter, from a makeup company called Blackheart Beauty. I occasionally use this for like sparkly highlight stuff, but I don't use it as an actual eyeshadow. But the little brush that came with it, as you can see, it's one of these little kind of paddly shaped brushes, is amazing for putting on the cream eyeliners. And so here we go. I just dab the flat end of the brush in, kind of dab, because this e.l.f. cream liner it goes everywhere if you're not careful. So you just got to kind of tighten your lid a little bit if you have like a looser lid, being with a lot of since I have a lot of Native American in me, I do have the very heavy double lids. So this is a little trick that I learned from YouTube and from some other makeup artists. If you have the double lid, it can sometimes be hard to do that beautiful cut crease look, because it's just as soon as you close your eyes, it's just going to sink right into your head. So you just kind of dab your line on. It doesn't have to be perfect, because we are going to go over this later with some eyeshadow and brushes, and it will kind of smooth everything out. We're just kind of making our template for where we're going to put things. Dab a little more on there. And I really hope that the washout of the video is not distracting too badly. I tried to make a prior video of doing this, and it was so bad because it was so dark. So I just moved locations to my bedroom to try to do this, and I'm sorry if I get a little quiet because I'm just trying to make sure this is mostly straight and even in length. Go up a little past your natural crease. If you have a heavy natural crease, go a little past your natural crease, and as you saw, just kind of dab to kind of get your line, just kind of smooth this in. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because this will be smudged in a little bit. Touch more gel liner, and we are going to just kind of sweep that up. Like I said, just kind of go over. As you can see, the natural crease in my eye, I went over the natural crease so that we are going to be creating an illusion of the cut crease that is so very popular these days. Like I said, it does not have to be perfect because we will be buffing and blending and mixing, and this will all work in the end, I promise you. So there we go. I'll put my little lid back on. This stuff, amazing. Amazing. I love it. Now, put my brush down. Now, the next product I am going to use is slightly more expensive than what most people will probably be purchasing. I am a fan, though, of Sugar Pill Cosmetics, and this is the Bulletproof Single Eyeshadow. This stuff is probably one of the best black eyeshadows that I have ever found, and I have used a ton of them. This stuff is super strong pigmented, so you got to be very careful with how much you use of it, but it is completely 100% worth all the effort and the like 12 or 13 bucks that it is for this. Because it is so highly pigmented, you do not have to use very much of it. So just a little bit goes quite a long ways, and we're going to use this to not only set the liner rather, but we're also going to use it as a buffer. The second color that is going to be used is, again, another Sugar Pill product. It is a loose shadow. It looks like, it's kind of hard to see. It looks in the camera, it looks orangey as I'm looking over here and noticing. But in actuality, this is a very metallic-y red color. I'll be taking some photos and putting some photos later at the end of the video, so you'll be able to see. This is called Asylum, and it is a loose shadow by Sugar Pill. I love loose shadows. I used to be very afraid of loose shadows because I was like, okay, they're going to get everywhere. It's going to, but this stuff, loose shadow, is really a beautiful tool to use because not only if you use it dry, it will blend and you can just, really do some beautiful blending and stuff with it. But if you dampen, like an angled brush, let me find my little angled brush. Where'd you go? There we go. If you have like a little, this is normally what people would be using for their eyeliners. A little angled brush. But if you dampen your angle brush, and what I use is just a little bit of Visine, but there are companies that like MAC and stuff that make like this like setting liquid for liquid shadow or for powdered shadows or loose shadows. But honestly, you're wasting your money. You don't need it. I live on a budget. I live on a very tight budget. A little bit of Visine on the powdered shadow or the loose shadow will do the exact same thing. And once you dampen your brush and just very lightly touch into the powdered shadow, you can then do like eyeliners and like really intricate detail work with it that you would not be able to do with just a regular dry shadow. The third product that I have is not a sugar pill tutorial, I promise you. I tend to use a lot of other stuff, but for this particular look I'm going to be using predominantly sugar pills because those are the ones I have in the particular strengths and colors I want. This is sugar pill color called Love. It's a very, very, very beautiful red color. It's kind of a brick red sort of tint. Oh, it's a very kind of brick red color, but it works very good as a base foundation to layer the Asylum over. And then the final color, and I grabbed the wrong pot. One second. Okay, and we're back. The final color that I will be using is another sugar pill, and it is called Tiara. It is another loose shadow pot, but it looks gray in the, or grayish white, but it is very metallic-y silver. And if you've seen some of my Facebook pictures where it has like the silver metallic, this is what I use. This stuff is beautiful. You can use it to highlight over gray or to blend over grays and stuff just to kind of give it this metallic-y depth, or you can use it wet and do like, you know, a foil look or whatever. This stuff, I love it. I love it. And the pot that I didn't show you that I screwed up and picked up, I get another one, Goldilocks. It's basically Goldilocks is the golden version of Tiara. But we will be doing another tutorial another time with the golds. So, okay, the stuff has set for long enough, and I am going to change brushes. Now, the brushes I use, I tend to use Eco Tools. I like Eco Tools. They do very beautiful, eco-friendly brushes. This is one of their big like blush brushes or powder brushes. You know, it's wood-handled, and it's like natural fibers and stuff like that. I'm not sure what all they use in it, but it's, you know, they're very thick, they're very soft, and they're very, very inexpensive, but they're very beautiful, and they work wonderfully. But I predominantly use, and I got a couple brushes missing out of it because they're sitting down here beside me, is this big kit. I got this from B&H Cosmetics. I would say about 5 or 6 months ago or more, when I had they had big sales, and they will put full brush kits along with a palette and like liner or lenses, lashes or whatever into these big sales, and their brushes are amazing. They are phenomenal. They're definitely worth getting. Okay, but we are going to start with, I know it's like we put black on, but we're going to start with red, because we're going to end up shading black or blending black over it. But to start, we're going to use red, and we're going to use the Love from Sugar Pill. And I do a lot of makeup art and stuff like that. I'm not one of these people that's like, I use the Sigma 580. No, I use I don't even freaking know what brand this is. It's got a little blendy on the one side, and it's got the flat like powder or flat eyeshadow on one side and a blender on the other. And that's what I use. So just pat your color in. It doesn't have to be perfect, again, because this is a it's going to end up being a very Gothic, visual K rather. I better correct that, or my friend Eki will destroy me. But it's a visual K look, which means there's going to be a lot of blending. There's going to be, so it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, because as we blend and smudge, everything will come together. So just pack it on, and don't just sweep it on. Actually, dab, 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 pat, pat, pat. This will actually pack the color in and give you a much more solid look, and a much more solid color versus sweeping. And as you can see, this red is very, very highly pigmented. It is intense. You don't need a whole super lot. And you just pat that stuff right on in there. And I'm just trying to make sure I get everything to the right levels, or the right, so it's right distance from each other, or the same spacing. I can't talk really good. Sorry. And like I said, this is a first time for me. Though a couple of people who are friends have been sitting on Skype before with me while I applied makeup, so they got to see how I do some of this. Other people have asked about it, so voila, we're doing it. And as you can see, very, very, very red. Very red. And I have changed my mind about one thing. Hold on one second. Okay, and we are back. Now, I'm going to be using the tiara, yes. But I forgot, what am I going to put under the tiara? Now, I have this Gigantor palette I got from Aesthetics like 2 years ago. It is so much eyeshadow. You get 2 plates, like this size, of just, as you can see, it is every color under the rainbow. This one is a more shimmery one, and layered underneath on the palette is a more matte one. Now, because we're going to be using the tiara, and the tiara is a more shimmery one, I'm going to go ahead and use from the shimmer palette, and we're going to use the gray. And I'm putting stuff in backwards. Hello. Normally I'm a little more together than this, but I'm just really, this is my first time. Please don't kill me. And where is my other paddle brush? Here we go. And this is my the other little paddle brush, because I'm going to be just doing towards the inside at this point. And this one is from B&H Cosmetics. It's just a little flat paddle brush. No big whoop. And with the Aesthetics, I don't even think that this palette has like names for the colors. It's a palette of colors. You can get the same type of palettes from B&H Cosmetics. They have beautiful palettes. I think the companies might have merged, and that's why they're like the exact same freaking palettes now in both companies, or in B&H's website. I got this one when it was still with Aesthetics. So, got a little loose hair on there. And just going to pack in a little bit of the silver gray color going into the corner of the eye. Now we are going to be putting other colors, or the tiara and other stuff, over this. So this is just to set our bases. I'm one of these people that I love makeup. I didn't really start doing a lot of makeup until I was in my late 20s. Because, like I said before, I am 35. So it was a very long time before I started doing this. But I absolutely fell in love with makeup art. And now I kind of do it on a freelance, semi-professional level. Mostly like cosplay makeups and like Gothic makeup and things like that, vampire makeup, of that sort of nature. But it's so much fun, and it makes me so happy. And it really is exciting for me to be doing this for y'all because I love to do makeup. And I got so many pictures on Facebook of all these makeups, and I am glad that people finally asked. Now, we're going over to Bulletproof from Sugar Pill. And I'm not sure, I think this is called like a pencil tip brush or something like that. It's like this little round, but it's got a very conical shape on the end. This brush is really brilliant for when you're going to be doing like blending of like one color over another, but or like you're covering over lines because the little tip or whatever, or if you're doing like a real smoky eye, because this kind of rounded tip gives you a lot of precision control, but it's also not like sharp edged like say the flat brush would be. So I'm just going to dab, and as you see, I'm not swiping with this. The Bulletproof is extremely intense, and it does tend to be a little looser. Unfortunately, it is one of the few colors from Sugar Pill, at least in their pressed powders, that is not very stable. It tends to leave a lot of fallout in the little container, and it drives me nuts. But hey, what can you do? You just deal with it. Okay, and as you can see, it is super, super pigmented. It's just, so I'm just very gently blending it over the edge of the red, and right there in that corner where we did the sharpening, or we did the line over the top. So I just pat and use the little tip of it to set the line of where the crease is. And we'll do that on the other side now. We're done with that. Okay. Next, we are going to take a little bit of our Asylum. And this stuff is, I'm trying to not spill it all over. As you can see, it is shimmery, very shimmery. And I am going to be using it dry. I'm going to use the same flat paddle brush that I used to apply the Love with. Because, hey, red and red. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Ooh, little poof of color. And you just literally just touch it and just kind of tap your brush off, because the color will be all over. And as you see, when you start layering it, I'm hoping you can see, but when you layer over the red, it gives such a beautiful, beautiful shimmer. And there will be more blending, so it's okay if it's kind of like, oh my god, it's so intense. This is going to all blend together, I promise you. So you just pat, 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 pat. And as you can see, shimmery, shimmery. Put the lid back on that, or it will go everywhere. And again, the next layer of color, we're going to use the Tiara from Sugar Pill. And where's my brush? Oh, there's my brush. One of these days, I'm going to have to learn to not put these down and then like forget where the hell I put them, because I end up spending like half my time looking for my dang brushes. Again, I don't know if you can see very well because my lighting is kind of bright, unfortunately, but it is, ooh, shite. It's everywhere. Wearing glitter. Deglitterized my digits. So, just take it, get the little hair off there, okay, and just touch it into the powder, tap your brush, get almost all of the whatever falls off the brush, let it go back in the pot, and just pat that right over the silver gray light, or the silver gray eyeshadow, in the center. And it's kind of funny because seeing this like this, it just made me realize I should probably do it like a Pokemon type makeup thing, because that would be really cool, and my wonderful nerdy game friends would love it. Okay. And next, we're going to grab the blender. This is the blending brush that I use. It is literally just the blending brush from B&H Cosmetics. I love this blending. It's so nice. And when you're blending, don't do big sweep, 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 sweep. Go in small little tight circles or small little back and forth sweeps. If you need to get in tighter, then take another, like a flat paddle brush, and then you can do very tiny little sweepsy sweeps. But because we are going to really get in there, as you can see, it is softening everything. And you just little small sweeps, just be gentle with this. You don't want to stab your eye out with the bristles, and I've done it. That's why I'm warning you. Just be very gentle. Just little sweepies, little sweeps, little circles, and that softens all the lines out. And I think I need to drag a little bit of this black a tiny touch forward. So we're going to just pick up our brush that we used for the black, and I'm not going to apply any more product to it because there's already a ton of product still stuck in this brush. Other than the fact that this is the brush I use for my black. This is the only brush I use for my black, because the black Bulletproof from Sugar Pill kind of gets into everything, and it can be a bit of a pain to get out of your brushes. So just sweepy sweep, just do your little tiny movements and blend that over. And as you can see, the look is starting to come together. I think I need a touch more. And then we're going to move on to blending the red and the gold together, or the silver together. Now I'm going to show you what I was talking about when you're using the little paddle brush, because this is a kind of delicate line. Just kind of, in this way, when you're using like a paddle brush, just kind of tap it almost. I'm not sure how to almost explain it. Just kind of tiny little sweeps back and forth, so that the silver and the red blend in together. But you don't want to go all the way over. You just want them to blend. As you can see, it goes from black into red and then down into silver. And that's what you want. You want it to, you know, transition, the colors to transition. So just tappy tap tap. And there we go. Now the next part of this, we will be doing more with the lining. But this time we're going to just line the top lashes. Normally I would wait until the end, but no, not normally. Sometimes I wait until the end to do the top lash or top lash line. Other times I do it when I'm done with the shadows, and I'm deciding I'm doing it when I'm done with the shadows. At least for the moment. This helps me to get my bearings, and just with your little cream shadow, just go right along the bottom lash line. Okay, I'm not talking a lot because I'm trying to get this properly smoothed in, and I kind of screwed that side up a little bit. That's okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make that line a little wider. And that's the beauty of Gothic style makeups. is you can always increase your lines. And you can see the fallout, maybe, I don't know, on my lashes there will be cleanup. Just tighten your lid. And it's even better if you're doing this with if you're going to be using false lashes, because the falsies will blend in really well with the wider line. Okay. And don't worry if you get a little on the bottom of the lid, because we're just going to clean that up with a little makeup remover and a Q-tip. And that is the basis for that. Put my lid back on, because do not want this to dry out. And this little lid, it's cute because it's a little square pot, but it's so annoying to get that lid back on. Okay, next step on this. Let me go back to my reference photo. We are going to go back to our big palette. And we're going to go back to our little paddle brush that I was using for the silver. And this time, instead of pressing flat like that to pick up the powder, I'm going to be using just the front edge, because this is going to be applying a dry powder to the bottom part of my eyelid. And I got so much mess. Hold on one second. And this is the eye makeup remover that I use when I'm doing stuff, or doing my eye makeup. I use the Sephora brand. This stuff does not burn. It does not hurt. You can get in there with around your waterline or your tear ducts, and it will not hurt. Just a Q-tip. You kind of dampen the end of a Q-tip, and it just takes the color right off. And then just kind of smear a little bit of the, smooth it out. And there we go, all cleaned up. Now, the Sephora's eye makeup remover is when you get it, it'll have like part of the bottle will be blue and then part will be clear, and you just shake the bottle up and it mixes the two compounds together, and you end up with this kind of blue Kool-Aid look stuff. But this stuff is just wonderful for eye makeup because it does not burn. Absolutely does not burn. But okay, using just a flat tip, just straight dab down to where you're just wanting the tip, the front edge of the brush to be with color on it. And then just follow under your eye. And go up into the corner. And just like with the top shadow, just kind of pack it on there. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Because, again, there will be other stuff being put over this. So it is alright if it is a little messy. Because there is always the cleanup phase when you're done. And I will show the cleanup and the final overall of the hair and the clothes that I would be wearing with something like this when we're done. So we'll get a good, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So now I have, it's really hard to see in this lighting for whatever reason. I don't know why this camera just washes out so badly. But there's now just kind of a light powder of gray. We are going to go back to the tiara. I keep forgetting the name of this one. I know the other one is like Goldilocks, and I remember that one perfectly. And just, again, just the top edge, and pat it in. And just go all the way across your bottom lid, or your bottom lid line. Now, I know a lot of people like to do tight lining of their waterlines with black, especially in a lot of the Gothic makeup looks and stuff like that. But I do a mix of Goth with Visual K and like glam rock flair and stuff like that. So I don't always do the very tight lined along the bottom eyelid with the pencil liner. When you don't, when you leave the inner corner or the bottom waterline white, and I will be using a white pencil over that, and I forgot to show you the white pencil, but I will be using a white pencil over that. It makes your eyes look bigger and more open and brighter, and it's a beautiful effect. So we will now move back to this itty bitty brush that I've been using for my cream shadow, or my cream liner. But we're not going to use it on the cream liner. We are going to use it on, and I keep putting stuff around in the wrong spot. We're going to use it with our bulletproof. Just, again, dab, 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 because bulletproof goes everywhere. And do not, with this particular look, I am not going directly at the lash line. I'm going a little under it. And there will be a method to the madness. And just take it and bring it at the corner, kind of up and into the top line, where it goes up from your, goes up to your eye. Need to add a little more bulletproof there. And just kind of go under a little bit, about halfway across. We will be doing some more blending, so don't worry if it's kind of strange. Just kind of pat it in there. And a lot of makeup is really, I get a lot of people, you know, friends and stuff like that, who are like, you know, how did you learn to do all of this stuff? It really just comes down to practice and trial and error. You know, and don't be afraid to screw up, because it's just makeup. It will come right off. And your fingers, beautiful tool. Don't be afraid to get your fingers in there and use it to kind of lightly smear or blend something over. Right. That one didn't come out quite as tight, so boom. Now that that's in, we're still going to be using the bulletproof, but we're going to go back to this brush. Again, just little cottony from my Q-tips. Just dab the pointed end onto the bulletproof, and just very, very gently sweep it along the black line that you created before underneath the silver shadow, and just bleed it up into this corner where you have, where things went up and sharp. This one side, for whatever reason, is not quite as sharp as I would like, so I'm going to now we're going to do a little bit of blending. So I'm going to get a clean brush, and this time I am going to be using a little angled brush. This is one from Eco Tools. It's a nice little brush. And just lightly, kind of just like when you were blending on the top, just these little tiny sweepy sweeps. And we're going to bring it down a little bit below, just to kind of soften everything up and make it a little more smoky, almost like you would be doing with a smoky eye. And as you see, it does not take very much, because you don't want these very sharp, hard lines with this particular look. Oh, and my cat decided to join us. Mr. Joey has joined us. Well, while Joey joins us, we will get a little sip of coffee. And my white pencil, and since I cannot find my white pencil, for whatever reason, it decided it wanted to walk away. So I am going to be using my little liner brush and a white eyeshadow to kind of do the inside waterline. So just kind of tug it down and just pat the white right along your waterline. It's a little easier when you got a white pencil, and some people might, you know, be afraid to do this and stick themselves in the eye. Lord knows, I've stuck myself in the eye with brushes a bazillion, jillion, oh my god, what the hell am I doing to myself times. You don't want to go into the under part of your eyelid. You just want to right along your waterline. And it opens up the eye. It makes the eye look so much bigger and so much brighter when you use a white or a flat or a lighter flesh toned line along your waterlines. And yes, I stuck myself in the eye a little bit with the tip of the brush. That's okay. I'm alright. I'm alright. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our black art. And my cat just went out. Sorry about that, guys. If I don't, you would hear at the door the whole damn time as he's trying to get in. Blackheart is another loose shadow. It's so messy. Blackheart is a little messy. I haven't used this one a whole lot. So, I'm using the same white brush, or same brush I used for the white. And I'm kind of just putting a little bit of that in the corner. In the inside corner right here. Because that will help, brighten the eye, and it will help open the eye up to where your eyes will look much, much bigger. And I'm just kind of going a little under that front spot of the black and just kind of spread it under. And it just makes a very interesting transition, I think. Now, this is not, you know, if you don't like the glittery sort of effect, certainly feel free to not do this part. You know, makeup is personal. It's what you want. It's your expression of yourself. So do not feel like it's absolutely you have to do things this way. You know, experiment, play with things, play with colors, play with styles. You know, don't limit yourself to one particular thing, because especially like a little bit of story time here. I started getting into the Gothic subculture when I was like 13 or 14 years old. And at that point, it was just heavy, 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 paper white face and tons of black around the eyes. Now, a lot of people really, really love that look, and I like that look as well on many occasions. You know, if I'm going to like a particular type of event or something like that. But it wasn't until more recently that the Gothic subculture seems to start adding a little bit more depth and stuff into the colors and styles and things that they're using in their makeup. And I love that. I love the whites and the silvers and the reds and the greens and stuff. And there's a couple other people who do some really beautiful color eyeshadow work. One of them is another YouTuber named Dumpster Dolly. I love her green eyeshadow look, and she has like a tutorial, I believe, on her channel about the green eyeshadow look. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. If you like this kind of stuff, you would love her channel. You would love her eyeshadow. And since I have decided I am not going to put on false lashes because it is such a goddamn pain, I'm not going to use them on this particular look because I just don't want to deal with it. And with the way that the hairstyle is going to be, it's going to be in the face a little bit. So if you have long false lashes and then you have hair in your face, they get all tangled and it irritates. So I am going to go ahead and use some mascara. And I'm using the Smashbox Full Exposure. I got this little tiny tube as a birthday present. If you go to Sephora, if you have a Sephora store or a Sephora little kiosk-y thing at your mall or whatever, go in there, sign up for their little rewards card, and on your birthday, you can go in the month of your birthday, you can go in and they will give you a little, you'll get to be able to pick a little from a little selection of birthday gifts. And mine came, the one I decided to get had the mascara and it had a lipstick in it. Now, I'm not a big fan of the lipstick color. It's a very pale pink. It's really just like a half a shade lighter than my natural lip color. So it's like, why am I going to use this? It does not do anything for me. But I really, really love this mascara, and I'll probably end up getting more because most of the time I use this one and I don't know where the other one is because I'm an idiot. But I also use the e.l.f. Like volumizing mascara. Now the reason I love the Smashbox one is it has this big poof brush. This big poof brush is great, and there's a little clump. Just wipe that off. Don't pump your mascara. You're just pumping air and drying it out and pumping bacteria into your mascara tubes. Don't pump them. Just stick it in, pull it out. And we will transition as I'm putting on mascara. And we are back. All mascara up. As you can see, it got rid of the little bit of red fallout that was on my upper eyelids. I'm lucky I didn't get a ton of fallout. Normally there's like all this fallout all over my face. And I use, for face fallout, from my local grocery store, their little brand is called Healthy Accents. And I just use these makeup remover wipes. They're super, super nice because they're not, it looks like it's small, but these pads or these cloths stretch like wham. So you get like end up with a really big cloth, and one of these will take off like a ton of makeup. So these things, awesome, you know, soap and water if you want to, but these do a little bit nicer and faster job. And as you can see, everything is together. And I'm going to transition again to when I have the rest of my face put together and everything on. So I will see you in a minute. And this is the completed look. As you can see, very Gothic, vampire. It's not kind of tilt my camera down. Got my little twisty. There we go. Got my triple chains. Got my roses. And yes, I do go out into public, done up like this quite a bit. Most of the people in my area well know me for, you know, being that weird dude who just kind of does whatever the hell he wants. I didn't show the foundation routine that I do. Basically, what I do is I use the Smashbox Photo Finish primer, which I'm not sure if there we go. And this is a oil-free one. A little goes a long way. This stuff will definitely help your foundation to really stay put and not end up being like all over the damn place. And the foundation that I use is, again, it's Smashbox. It is the Studio Skin 15-hour wear hydrating foundation because I have very, very, very dry skin, but because of my Native American heritage, I also have a very odd skin tone. So while a lot of people go very, very pale, and I understand I look very pale anyways, but a lot of people go much, much paler than I do when they're doing Gothic makeup or the like. I prefer to have something with a slight more color to it, just because I think it looks a little better. Just my own personal opinion. You certainly feel free to go very white if you would like, if you like the very white sort of look. But this is it. This is voila. There will be a little montage of photos, I guess, at the end. And if you have any questions about how any of this is done, or you have suggestions for another look that you would like to see or whatever, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment box. You know, I love you guys so much, and I love doing these videos by request. This was very, very requested by a lot of people. Probably the next makeup type video I will be doing is going to be a very death rock sort of video. So there's going to be brows. Oh my god, Rowan will have eyebrows again. Yes, and with the sharp contouring and everything, it's going to be magnificent. But you know, if you've enjoyed this video, if you want to see more of these videos, you know, if you like listening to or somebody, you know, some crazy goth guy screaming at the top of his lungs at zombies and monsters and stuff, you know, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. You get to keep up on what's happening in this wacky place. And I love you guys. Have fun. And peace.